Joseph.
And I'm Nick.
We watched episode 4 of The White Lotus, season 3. This episode is titled Hide or Seek. So what's going on? Jaclyn, Michelle Monaghan, and her two friends, they have decided that they want to go do something fun. Basically, because the opening of the episode is Jaclyn trying to get a hold of her man, who's also an actor, but he's a younger man. So she seems to feel a way about the fact that he's not getting back to her, and she's confused like where he could be.
I didn't think you were working today.
I didn't know you were going to be on set.
Oh my God.
So she tells her friends, you know what? We should go do something fun today. Like clearly wanting to act out because her man is not responding to her.
Mhm.
So Jaclyn asks their handsome butler, Valentin, like, do you have any recommendations? Where can we go? And he says, oh, I know just the place. I'll have a car take you. So he sends their asses to like a senior resort. And Jaclyn's attitude about it is real unpleasant.
Mhm.
So she says they have to go back to the hotel. She confronts Valentin and says, I don't know what you were thinking, but you need to find us something fun to do. And you're coming with us. Which is gross.
That's just quintessential spoiled American behavior.
So they snatch up Valentin and he takes them to another part of the island, or I don't know where they are, but he leaves them for a minute to go find some friends and change clothes when they get involved in a water fight, which I thought was a really corny scene.
Well, because they're acting so affronted by these children squirting them with water.
And what do you call those? Nerf? Like
Nerf guns?
It's like a bunch of kids with Nerf guns spraying water.
But it seems like it's kind of a communal event.
And they were, so it doesn't feel like like an isolated attack on them. It's like the entire like city center is all playing this, water fight. So it feels very safe, non-pointed. And then
like that you being in this space right now suggests that you're fine with
that
this
you're
happening.
open to it. Exactly. Also, these ladies are acting like they're wearing couture at the Oscars.
Uh-huh.
They're all wearing what look like swimwear.
You know what's frustrating? It's like y'all have phones at work. Look up something to do that you want to do.
Or better yet, why don't you find something you would like to do?
You're right.
Don't ask some man half your age who clearly is not into whatever the hell you're trying to do.
Right.
Like, I used to work at a hotel and people would always approach me and ask for stuff. And it's like, I have some sense of, like, if you tell me exactly what you want, like, oh, you want a good steak on this side of town. Yeah, I can give you that. But like people want you to curate their night.
Surprise me.
Surprise you? No. Because what I would always do is just send them to the gay bar.
Yeah, figure out your life. Okay. Don't include me in part of that.
But yeah, the scene where they get attacked with the water guns just felt, because the way it's shot and the way the women are acting is like, it's like a thriller or something.
Well, especially Jaclyn.
Yeah, she's too much.
I think I saw a headline saying something about these three friends are like a contemporary answer to Robert Altman's Three Women, which is one of my favorite films of all time. And I didn't read that article because I'm
offended by the headline.
I was offended by the stupidity of even comparing that. Like, anyway.
But they end up meeting up at this nice bar lounge with Valentin and his two friends, and it's clear that they've been briefed and they're saying like, we're going to make sure you have a good time.
But yeah, that's another thing when she said that, like, you guys have to step up. Bitch, I just met you. Don't tell me to just step up.
Also, when I worked in VIP services in Vegas, like, people would do things like this, but also like, you need to run me my money. Like, I'm not your friend. I'm not doing this out of the kindness of my heart. 99% of the time, this was outside of my normal working hours.
Mm-hmm.
The expectation is that you're going to pay me. So I just like, I don't love that her character didn't even establish like, I'm grateful. I'm going to take care of you if you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
She's acting like this is a part of the price she paid for the room for the week.
Exactly. Instead of you wouldn't just go out and wander in the city and find that kind of entertainment because you don't know how to curate that for yourself because you're boring.
So that's what happens to these three women in this episode. We don't know if anything goes down. Okay. Then poor Chai. I was told I'm not saying the name correctly. It's not pronounced porn. It's like Pon Chai.
Okay.
So poor Ponchai is still trying to push up on Gaitok. Yes. And I'm so confused by this because she seems like she's playing him.
Mook.
Mook?
Yeah, her name's Mook.
Who's Gaitok?
Gaitok is the security guard.
Who's Ponchai?
Berlinder's love interest.
Damn. You're right. Poor Gaitok keeps trying to push up on Mook.
Mm-hmm.
And that lady, I'm so confused with like, because to me, it seems like she's obviously playing him.
Well, yeah, because
Do you get that sense?
Yeah, but who doesn't like attention? I feel like, maybe most people have done that. Like, oh, this person is going to give me some uh, easy validation, affirmation, but I have no interest in pursuing anything with them.
Right. I guess I'm just confused. Like, how does Gaitok not see that
Right.
this lady, like, you are trying so, but I guess that's how some men are. Like,
Yes, but
they will keep trying even though you are paying them in dust. But
that is not a way to treat people, by the way.
But he, we know from the last episode that he got called into the office.
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically told, like, your job is to be a security guard and protect
and not just
the resort. And basically all you do is wave at the people coming in. Like, you need to up your game.
Which again, this probably sounds very American to me, where it's like, well, am I getting paid to do more than wave at the people? What are you paying me?
So the hotel manager, Fabian, says, well, talk to the other security guard. He has a plan. So then the two of them meet, and the other security guard says, we need a gun. And I got one. So we're going to learn how to use it. So now Gaitok has a gun.
Well, he's like, I have a license, so Gaitok does not. And he's like, I need you, after work, you need to go to the shooting range and figure out how this works.
So that's basically it. And then Mook sees him later, like, oh, did you get your promotion? Because he's trying to tell her, like, oh, I'm meeting with my boss later, our boss. And Mook runs with it, like, oh, you're probably going to get a promotion for saving the resort. When it's like, no, he actually is probably the reason why the resort got shut up or burglarized. But anyway, he kind of like downplays the fact that he was told that he's not performing. But the big event of the episode is this yacht ride.
If you can call it a big event. I mean, that's a very liberal, loose term.
So Gary Gregg and his lady Chloe are hosting this day out on the yacht. And
this is why I don't like being on boats, because you are trapped.
The Ratliffs attend, as well as Walton Goggins' character and his girl, Chelsea. So what happens on the boat? Chelsea is finally fed up with Walton's just acting so funky. So she confronts him and says, if you don't tell me what's going on, why you're acting like this, why you need to go to Bangkok for 3 days and leave me here, then I'm done. I can't do this. It doesn't feel good being around this dark cloud. And he just burst out and says, the man who owns this hotel murdered my father. So that's why I came here, because I wanted to confront him. But then when I found out he was in Bangkok, I realized now I have to fly there. So that's what I'm doing. So of course, Chelsea's like, that's kind of wild, because how do you know? Well, my mom told me on her deathbed. Okay, but like why are you going to do this? And he's like, I don't care, I'm going.
But what's crazy about that is her learning that piece of information, and she does not go with him or like, I mean, if I learned that bit of information, I feel like I would not be able to sit back behind calm.
Sure, but
I'm like, because
we don't know how deep their relationship goes.
No, but it's like, he's going to do something drastic. Why?
Okay, the Ratliff. So Jason Isaacs' character, he is having a full-on meltdown because he has finally gotten his phone back.
Which is probably not a good idea.
Which was toward the end of the episode. But prior to that, he had already heard that he is in trouble, that the FBI are raiding his office involving money laundering and all that. So we also know that he has been taking his wife, Parker Posey's lorazepam.
What did I say? The minute that he woke up in this episode and took another of her pills, I'm like, she's going to know that her pills are missing.
And immediately she goes, hey, y'all.
First scene.
Has anyone been taking my lorazepam?
She's like, I just refilled my prescription.
And her daughter, Piper's like, you can't go a week at a wellness resort without refilling your lorazepam? And Parker gets mad. I wrote down, it's funny that the one thing Parker's character gets serious about are her sedatives.
Oh, yes. Well,
this is the first time we've seen her be serious. Like, this is a problem. So they get on the boat, and then a few things happen because Jason Isaacs is just being real, like, he's just depressed.
He's spiraling.
Parker is like just really uncomfortable.
Well, everybody on this boat, I mean, it feels like hell. Like, I would not want to be on that boat.
Then Patrick Schwarzenegger's doing his thing, just being a creep, trying to tell his brother, like, we need to hook up with some women. And those two seem like they're having fun. But their sister, what's her name? Piper. She tells her brother, Sam Nivola, like, I have to confide in you. I know that I said this trip was because I wanted to interview some monk, but really I'm here because I wanted to check out this like what is it, like a monastery or something that she wants to live at. So she has to tell her parents that she wants to move to Thailand. So
but it's like you whole family drag themselves.
Family. You know how mad I'd be?
That is so selfish. But which of course is the way that she's moving about in the world would seem to suggest that she would be aware of the selfishness of that behavior. But of course,
so she tells her brother, I need you to support me because mom and dad probably aren't going to take it well.
So say nice things at dinner. It's like, girl.
So can you kind of, back me up? And then we find out that there's like an after party that night.
The full moon party.
Some kind of full moon party. Whatever. So, of course, Chloe wants to go. Gary Gregg doesn't want to because he says he has something he needs to take care of.
He's doing something cryptic, and it's going to have to deal with Belinda.
So all the younger people stay on the boat, which upsets Piper because Sam Nivola decides to stay. And she's looking at him like, I thought you were going to come to dinner.
But don't they have several more days? Why does she have to tell them at that dinner?
Well, there's another question to ask. So when...
You got to pivot, girl. You got to adapt.
When they get to dinner, when it's just Jason Isaacs, Parker Posey, and Piper Posey. Parker Posey just keeps putting her foot in her mouth.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Because knowing that her husband is probably going to go to, well, she doesn't know this, but we know that her husband's probably going to go to prison for money laundering. She is telling Piper, like, ugh, that boat was full of like a convention of con men and tax cheats. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them were killers. You ought to be grateful that your father is a decent, honest man. And she's just going on and on and on. And Jason Isaacs looks like he's going to explode.
Yeah.
And then we see him leave dinner to get on his phone. And then he talks to
his lawyer, I believe.
His lawyer. And the lawyer says, girl, Kenny, who's voiced by
Ke Kwan.
That guy is working with the feds. He's basically copying a deal. He's told them everything. So you're effed. The best we can hope for is that they just take everything you own and put you in jail or in prison for a few months. And Jason Isaacs freaks out. He's like, I'm going to lose my house, so we're going to be broke and I'm going to go to prison.
We're going to be poor. It's Schitt's Creek, the serious version.
Right. So unfortunately, well, he says, like, I would rather die. I'd kill myself before I would do all that. And he's standing by the security outpost. And we know Gaitok has a gun in there. And so we don't see it, but we can presume that Jason Isaacs took that gun.
And poor Gaitok.
Because the gun is missing.
Yes.
When Gaitok goes back to his office. So I'm assuming that Jason Isaacs is going to shoot himself. I'm assuming Gaitok's going to be in big trouble.
Well, because Jason Isaacs returns his phone to Pam, and she's like, I hope you won't be needing that. And he goes, no, needing that again. And he said, no, I won't. So it's like, oh, well.
Then
the calm before the storm.
To wrap up with all the characters, Belinda at the beginning of the episode, she gets a phone call from her son. And the son is saying, like, I'm leaving today for Thailand, so I'll see you tomorrow. But then she is still preoccupied with Gary Gregg. And she's telling Pornchai, like, I know that man. But then we see her get on the interwebs and Google Jennifer Coolidge's character and sees that she was an heiress who died from mysterious circumstances and other people were missing. And then she goes on to read that
they never
her ex, like, investigators wanted to interview him, but he, like, ducked out and they can't find him. So of course she puts two and two together, that because she also then finds his name, looks him up, and sees his picture because he's a government official and realizes that he lied. He is the man she thought he was. So now she's upset. And then we see Gary Gregg, after he declined to go to the full moon party, that he's looking up Belinda.
Her Instagram.
Yeah, and sees her with her son. So I'm assuming he's going to do something to her.
Mhm.
Although I don't know how smart that would be, because I would assume that she's already called law enforcement to
Yeah.
tell on me. But
Well, I don't know. People get real bold with their back against the wall, so who knows?
That's it.
Uh,
I was trying to stretch this out because I will say, of the 4 episodes, this one, I mean, it definitely feels like, oh, we're trying to get somewhere. We haven't gotten there yet, but we're trying.
We're drifting slowly to some sort of climax. Although the problem is that none of these people, besides Parker Posey and Carrie Coon, I don't really enjoy any of these characters.
No. Oh, I didn't mention Jason Isaacs flashes his penis to his
By
family
accident,
by
yeah.
accident. So that's something to look forward to for some of y'all.
Uh-huh.
But I would say the best part of this episode was the preview for episode 5, because I thought that episode 5 looked interesting.
Mhm.
So I guess there's that to look forward to.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about episode 4?
How many episodes is this season? 8. Oh my god.
Oh, there are 8.
We're half. Oh, okay. So this is the halfway point.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's your fault. You wanted to watch it.
Well, I enjoy Parker, so there's that. She has a new movie coming out next week too, so there's that.
Called what?
Isn't it called The Teaching?
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
We'll look forward to that.
Mm.
Ta-ta.